What's going on, guys? Welcome. Happy Monday. Welcome to Getting to the Facts. We got a crazy thing going on. And again, I know I say it a lot, but I'm so sick and tired of being gaslit every single time. And it seems like they just think that we aren't paying attention, which a lot of us aren't, but there's enough of us paying attention to where, like, okay, we don't have a memory of a goldfish. We remember you saying these things. So it's just very frustrating when we gotta keep reminding everybody that this stuff is happening. But we're gonna hop right into it, guys. We're gonna be going over what we're sending over to Ukraine now. Okay, it's getting it, where I feel like we're just trying to push the button of Russia up until the point that they're just gonna throw out the nuclear weapon. Like, what else? I mean, we're antagonizing them to the point where we keep saying, "Oh, we want to do everything to stop World War III or a nuclear disaster," but then we go ahead and do stuff like this. And just so we know what a cluster bomb is, from the headline here as well from BBC News, cluster bombs: Biden defends decision to send Ukraine controversial weapon. And again, guys, the reason why it's controversial is because there's a weapons treaty, not with the United States, but over 100 different countries, and the United Kingdom is one of them, where they signed on to limit the distribution and the production, and the use in war, of cluster bombs. And there's a reason for that. And here, just so you can have an idea, it's a cool little illustration, gives you an idea of what it does. Munition is fired from the ground or air. Bomblets are then released, like little bombs. Bomblets fall to the ground and they don't all detonate immediately. So you got a whole bunch of like little mines on the ground, basically, for the ones that don't detonate. And the reason why that's an issue is because it's really for civilians. And really, we're just worried about kids, because if they drop all these bombs and they don't go off, and then a month later, got kids playing around in the yard, and they find one, bam, goes off, kills some kids, and that's the problem. That's why they have that treaty. But I don't know, guys. I'm really concerned about this. And I'm really concerned about it because they keep saying we were only going to send defensive weapons, only defensive weapons. We aren't sending anything else. Well, that's been a lie from the get go, but it just seems like people just keep forgetting about it. So we gotta stay vigilant on this, guys, and really go over this. Even some of the Democrats, and this from CNN Politics. We have a little video here. And it just shows the craziness, because even CNN Democrats are like, they won't flat out say that this is a war crime, but it's as close to it as you can get. I mean, it's technically not a war crime, but when Russia did it, when Russia was using them, we had no problem saying that it was potentially a war crime. So it's like you can't play both sides of the coin on this if we're sending all that info over. So we're gonna watch this little clip here, and because I really thought it was interesting. It's only a couple minutes.
Here's how the White House is trying to justify giving Ukraine cluster munitions despite the risk that they pose to civilians. Take a listen.
There is also a massive risk of civilian harm if Russian troops and tanks roll over Ukrainian positions and take more Ukrainian territory and subjugate more Ukrainian civilians because Ukraine does not have enough artillery. That is intolerable to us. This is their country they're defending. These are their citizens they're protecting. And they are motivated to use any weapon system they have.
What do you think? Do you buy that argument? What's your response?
Nice being with you, Jake. No, cluster bombs should never be used. That's crossing a line. Once you see what takes place, we know what takes place in terms of cluster bombs being very dangerous to civilians. They don't always immediately explode. Children can step on them. That's a line we should not cross. I think the president's been doing a good job managing this war, this Putin aggressive war against Ukraine, but I think that this should not happen. He had to ask for a waiver under the Foreign Assistance Act just to do it, because we have been preventing the use of cluster bombs since, I believe, 2010.
So when Putin started using cluster bombs, the Biden White House said that would potentially be a war crime. Do you think that, therefore, the U.S. government, the Biden administration, will potentially be engaging in war crimes if this goes forward?
What I think is that we would risk losing our moral leadership, because when you look at the fact that over 120 countries have signed the Convention on cluster munitions, saying they should never be used, they should never be used. And in fact, many of us have urged the administration to sign on to this convention. And so I'm hoping that the administration would reconsider this, because these are very dangerous bombs, they're dangerous weapons, and this is a line that I don't believe we should cross.
I mean, guys, again, when you have Democrats coming out and saying this, it is definitely alarming. It's definitely alarming. Again, we were not supposed to send offensive weapons. This was supposed to be for the defense of Ukraine, not for Ukraine to go and bomb the inner parts of Russia. Like, guys, again, we're getting our hands dirty with something that we're spending so much taxpayer money. And guys, we didn't approve this. I'm telling you, okay, we put people in power that are voting on things, but they're not even voting on the continued money that we're sending them. We just keep putting the bill up more and more. And it's not the bill that these politicians are spending. Yeah, okay, they're a citizen, so they're a part of it. But it's all us regular people, us regular hardworking Americans. Our taxpayer money is funding this war. No other country is even close. Not even remotely, not even within a billion. Not even within $1 billion close to what we're sending over to Ukraine in terms of aid, military equipment, everything. And we got the breakdown for you too. So we're going to look at this here. We got a cool little breakdown, and this is from CFR.org. All right. And this is, since the war began, the Biden administration and the U.S. Congress have directed more than $75 billion in assistance to Ukraine, which includes humanitarian, financial, and military support, according to the Kiel Institute for the World Economy, a German research institute. And guys, this is only from May of 2023. They just said that they're sending another $800 million package, which we're going to get into with the cluster bombs that they're sending over. So almost another full billion that we're sending over on top of all this. Okay. But this is what we got. We got 3.9 billion of it, only 5%, which is going to emergency food assistance, healthcare, refugee support, and other humanitarian aid. Financial, which is so vague, budgetary aid through the Economic Support Fund, loans, and other financial support. Security assistance, 18.3 billion for security assistance. That's training, equipment, weapons, logistics support, and other assistance provided through the Ukraine Security Assistance Initiative. And then we also have weapons and equipment, 23.5 billion. That's 31% of it. Weapons and equipment from Defense Department stocks, providing through presidential drawdowns. And then lastly, we got 4.7 billion, which is only 6% for grants and loans for weapons and equipment. That's just extra stuff. They're really never going to pay this back, guys. They're never going to pay this back. Ukraine is never going to have the money to pay this back. Okay, so when they say grants and loans, it's all grants. We're just giving it to them. All right, like it's just insane. And much of the aid has gone toward providing weapons systems, training, and intelligence that Ukrainian commanders need to defend against Russia, blah, 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 blah. Look, guys, they can say this is for the defense of Ukraine, but we are sending them. First off, we weren't even supposed to be sending them tanks. We started sending them tanks. We said that we weren't going to give them planes. We've been giving them fighter jets. We even have over 100 CIA agents that are in Ukraine. Over 100 just CIA agents. And then we also are also sending troops over to help train Ukrainians in the border countries surrounding Ukraine and Russia. So they're not directly in there, but they're on the border countries doing all the training and getting them ready for the battlefield. We're doing all the logistics. We're doing all of it. This is really, I mean, when you do a deep dive on this, is really a war between Russia and the United States, or Russia and NATO. But all of the funding that they're getting is coming from the United States by a too big of a margin, way too big of a margin. And why is it always put on us American workers? Why? Why is it taking our taxpayer money? I just don't get that. Like, we're not the world police. We need to take care of what we have here, because Lord knows we need to focus on us for like a solid decade to 2 decades. Like, please, like, let everybody else do their own thing. Unless there's someone that's threatening world peace, we need to leave it alone. Honestly, I'm sorry. I don't want Ukraine to fall. I don't think that Russia is in the right side of things by doing this. But there's a lot of nuance with what they're doing, and just the history between Ukraine and Russia. Ukraine wasn't even Ukraine until like the 90s. So it's just like, guys, there's just so much nuance. Why are we getting our hands dirty in something like this? It's not like this is about to be the start of World War III. I mean, it's about to, because we keep pushing Russia into doing this. But if we weren't pushing Russia, like, honestly, if we just let them do what they need to do and go to war themselves and nobody got involved, this thing would have been done already. Done already. And we probably wouldn't have seen the inflation hit like we've been seeing it hit. I mean, we've almost spent $100 billion. $100 billion. And we need infrastructure fixed, which is going to be, like, from what I saw, about $2.5 to $3.5 trillion. And we're spending almost $100 billion for Ukraine. Guys, no. I'm sorry. I mean, I'm cool with the humanitarian aid. Like, okay, let's get everybody out of Ukraine that's not a man, and who's fighting in the war. Let's get them out. Let's give them emergency food. Let's do all that, right? Like, that's humanitarian. That's what NATO should be doing. But we're not here. Ukraine isn't even a part of NATO, and we're protecting them like they are. So that's just my big issue, guys. I really don't understand it on why we're doing this. But again, and this is from Reuters on July 7th of this year, so just happened, U.S. to give Ukraine cluster munitions in an $800 million aid package. Like I said, guys, almost another $1 billion that we're giving them. We're just giving them our money. It is absolutely stunning to see this. The United States announced on Friday that it will send Ukraine cluster munitions prohibited by more than 100 countries as part of an $800 million security package, a move Ukraine said would have an extraordinary psycho-emotional impact on Russian forces. Yeah, I bet it will. Jake Sullivan, President Joe Biden's national security advisor, sought to make the case for providing these arms to Ukraine shortly before the Pentagon formally announced the aid. Cluster munitions could boost Ukraine's counteroffensive, see, not defensive no more, counteroffensive, to reclaim territory seized since Russia invaded in February 2022. We recognize that cluster munitions create a risk of civilian harm from unexploded ordnance, Sullivan told reporters. This is why we've deferred the decision for as long as we could. Oh, for as long as we could. Yeah, great. Well, we're here now, guys. Again, it's just a slippery slope. They're going to keep asking and keep pushing and want more and more. We're just going to keep giving it to them. I mean, honestly, guys, we've been depleting our own ammunition supplies, our own stockpiles. Like, what happened? I mean, and China is friends with Russia, and they haven't even given them any military assistance yet. I honestly, the more I see this, the more it's like, I think they're just trying to drain our stockpile of ammunitions and just everything, because they know that we don't do any domestic manufacturing for any of our stuff here. I mean, we haven't for a long time, at least at a level that would be needed to resupply us and still supply Ukraine. Like, this is absolutely insane, because I think China's just waiting until they think we're depleted enough to where they can just march right into Taiwan. And then what are we going to do? I mean, we already said that we believe in a one China policy. We already went over that in one of our other videos. But this is absolutely just mind-blowing to me. And us as American citizens, us regular taxpayer money, our taxpayer money's funding this. So we need to be upset when it comes to this. We really do. We really need to be upset about it. And this needs to change. If it doesn't change, World War III is right around the corner, guys. I'm telling you, is right around the corner. Russia's already moving. They've already moved their nuclear weapons to certain areas that are better strategic areas for them. So they're already preparing stuff like this. And us setting these cluster bombs are not going to make Russia bow down at all. At all. Russia's not the type of country to bow down at all. So, I mean, guys, again, just to see the hypocrisy about what Joe Biden said, and this was what, over a year ago, okay? Because this war's been going on for a while. So this was over a year ago that Joe Biden said this on national TV. And now we are at the point to where we've already sent them the tanks. We've already sent them the fighter jets. And now we're sending them cluster bombs where over 100 countries have banned them. Okay? Like, guys, just watch this video here. And it's only like, it's less than a minute. I want you guys to see what he says. We're not going to watch the whole news clip.
Putin's war against Ukraine was never be a victory. Democrats are rising to meet the moment, rallying the world on the side of peace and security. We're showing the strength and we'll never falter. But look, the idea that we're going to send in offensive equipment and have planes and tanks and trains going in with American pilots and American crews, just understand, and don't kid yourself, no matter what you all say. That's called World War III.
Guys, Joe Biden said it. He said it out of his mouth that it would be World War III. We are having American troops in Ukraine and in the surrounding countries that are a part of NATO training. We're sending all the stuff that he just said. We're sending them that and then some, and then some. Guys, again, like, when are we going to wake up? When are we going to wake up? This is not bringing the adults back to the room, how Joe Biden claimed how he was going to bring the adults back, by becoming president. No, not at all. I don't know if you guys realize this, but as an independent, I really realize this. Donald Trump, he's the first president in at least over 20, 30 years that did not start a new war. Let me say that again. Donald Trump is the only president in the last 20 to 30 years that did not start a new war. Joe Biden he didn't start this, but he is fueling the fire to an extent that we almost aren't at a point we're at a point of no return almost, to be honest, guys. So just got to wake up, stay vigilant, share this video with a bunch of people that could use the insight and just look at these articles. I really love pulling up these videos and just seeing what they're actually saying, what's coming out of these people's mouths. And we gotta keep reminding people, because it seems like the average person these days has a memory of a goldfish, which I don't think we all do, but a lot of us seem to have that thanks to these phones and social media. So let's just stay vigilant, guys. But again, appreciate you guys. Make sure you press that like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Again, for everyone that keeps watching these videos, I really do appreciate you guys. And we're just going to keep trying to grow this channel and make it better and better as we go on. But stay blessed. Have a great start to your week. And I'll see you on the next video.